Hey there, it's Bobby, aka Paginator, and I'm looking very pale today for some reason. I don't know why. And I'm here today with a book review for you for Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. She wrote the Remnant Chronicles, and this book is set in the Remnant world. It is not a continuation of that trilogy, though. She is also the author of the Jenna Fox Chronicles, if you have read those books, and she's written many other things as well. So I got to go meet the lovely Mary Pearson at an author event at my favorite bookstore, the King's English in Salt Lake, which I have talked before about on this channel. If you are ever in the Salt Lake area, it's on 15th East and 15th South, and it is a fantastic bookstore built in this little house that's been redone as a bookstore, and it's just oodles of fun. And they have author events all the time, and I love going there. So definitely look it up. And they have a website, thekingsenglish.com, and they will ship books to you. So if you want to support an independent bookstore, I recommend that one. All right, enough about the store. Let's talk about the book. First, I want to tell you a little bit about the event. So I'm going to show you a picture of Mary. She's got a lovely face there. She was there at the event with Erin Summerall, who wrote Ever the Hunted, and Erin was kind of interviewing her and moderating the event. And it was very interesting because they talked a lot about writing process and different things that they use while writing, and it was just really fun. But Mary also talked about the characters in this book and how much, you could just tell how much she loved her characters, especially Cassie and Jace, who are the two main characters in this book. Before I get into the story, I'll do a couple more little show and tell kind of things, and then we'll get into talking about the book itself. But I do want to let you know, I will keep this spoiler free until a certain point, and then I'm going to tell you when to stop if you don't want to hear any spoilers. All right? So, when we got the book signed, they had some little swaggy things, and I'll show you the autograph page. She has a lovely big autograph that actually looks like words. Some authors, it's like a squiggle line. And then we got some fun things. This bookmark is actually the cover of Beauty of Darkness, which is the third book in the Remnant Chronicles trilogy. And then there were a couple of other bookmarks. This one is for Dance of Thieves, and it says, "Every word between us was like a dance, a step forward, a step back." And that's very, very indicative of the relationship between the two main characters, which we'll talk about more in a minute. Then we have this fun bookmark, which is cut to the shape of a sword-ish, kind of. And it says Dance of Thieves, and then they also had some pins. Let me show you the stars, Dance of Thieves, and Blink Last. Blink Last is something that a couple of the characters say to each other, and let me show you the stars. I'll tell you about later. All right, so let's get into the book, finally. All right, so Dance of Thieves. This is a big old book. It's 505 pages, and it is red when you take the dust jacket off. It's very pretty. But this is, as I mentioned, set in the Remnant world, but we don't get the same character. So if you've read the Remnant Chronicles and are looking for more about Leah, this isn't, she's in here very briefly, but it's not her story. This is completely different characters in another part of the place that we're used to reading about. So we have Cassie and Jace. Cassie is an accomplished thief, and she actually works for Leah as a soldier now, but when she was a child, she was a thief and very good at it, and she wasn't ever really caught. So since the punishment for stealing, even when you were a child, was losing a finger or fingertip, she kept all of her fingers, and the people in that area gave her the nickname 10 because she still had 10 fingers. Then we have Jace, who is the new, and I'm still not sure how to say this word, patrie is how I'm going to say it, for the Ballinger family. And they are kind of like, it made me think of like how do I want to say, not like the mob, but similar in that they own a lot of businesses and they have a lot of money and they offer protection, but they're not creepy murderer people. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but they kind of watch over this particular part of the world and they want to be their own kingdom, but they haven't been officially recognized. So part of their agenda is to get Queen Leah to come and officially recognize them as a kingdom. Now Jace, his father passes away at the very beginning of the book. Very, very beginning. And so he's brand new in this position. And he has got to figure out how to be the new Padre as well as deal with these Vendan soldiers, one of which is Cassie and some of her friends who have come to this area thinking that they have the right to come and arrest people who are traitors against the Vendan king and queen. Cassie and Jace meet in the streets one day, and she doesn't know who he is, he doesn't know who she is, but they immediately hate each other. Hate each other. And when I was at the author event, Mary Pearson talked about how she had this thought of what if two people who really, really hated each other were forced into a situation where they had to spend a lot of time together, and maybe they would gradually start to learn, oh, they're not pure evil, maybe there's some good in them. Well, that's what happens to Cassie and Jace. And this was such a genius thing that Mary Pearson did, the way that she forced these two to be together. And I don't want to give that away right now, but they end up being forced to spend some time together, and they do learn, hey, this is actually a good person here. I don't have to hate them. That's all I want to say for the non-spoilery part of the story. I will tell you before I get into spoilers, this book has so much in the way of feels. It is excellent writing. There's fantastic character development, such good description. I was making a movie in my mind the entire time, and it was so easy because her writing was so good. I don't even know what more to tell you. If you want a book that has lots of adventure but will give you the feels, this is the one that you should read. It is long, like I mentioned, but it is so worth it. It's so well done. I actually put off finishing it because I didn't want it to be over, and then I finally made myself finish it last night. So anyway, there we go for Dance of Thieves. Now, I am going to start talking about some spoilers. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers, stop the video now. Adios. Okay, I'm assuming that if you're still here, you don't mind hearing some spoilers. So let's pick up where I left off. Cassie and Jace are forced to be together. Now, how this happens is there are some labor hunters in the village, which is called Hell's Mouth, where the Ballinger family, Jace's family, is in control. Okay? They take Jace and Cassie and a few other people prisoner and cart them off to go work somewhere. Cassie and Jace are chained together at the ankles. They each have a cuff on their ankles and there's a chain between them, so they are stuck together. Genius! Very good job, Mary Pearson. Now, what happens is Cassie and Jace manage to escape the wagon that they are being carted away in, largely due to Cassie's pickpocketing skills, and they have to find their way from where they escaped back to a safe place together. And they can't separate, and it's not like they can fight and kill each other, because then the other person would have to drag a dead body along with it. So they have to work together and make the best of things. And as I mentioned before, they start to learn that there are some really good things about the other person, and each of them starts to feel friendship. And that friendship does turn into love, where all the feels come in. Now, when I showed you the buttons, I told you there was one called Let Me Show You the Stars. This one right here. as I was reading, I'm going to show you this. Maybe you can see this little flag right here. I hadn't really paid attention to what the buttons said in detail before I started reading. I was just like, oh, cute buttons, and I stuck them in my button drawer. But as I was reading, there was a scene, and it's not very far into the book, it's only on page 111, where this phrase comes into play. And even though this is the spoilery section, I am not going to tell you how that phrase comes into play because I don't want to ruin everything for everyone. It's just, that's mean. But I will tell you, it's so beautiful that I stuck that flag on there. I want to remember this page, and I want to remember how to find it. So I flagged it, and it's such a lovely moment. And there are lots of beautiful, beautiful moments in here. And again, I'm not going to go through every single thing that happens in here. I'm going to tell you that we find out a lot about Cassie. We find out that her mother was actually taken by one of these labor thieves, and she is on a mission from the Queen as the Queen soldier to be in this place to track down someone, but in the back of her mind she's really looking for the man that stole her mother originally, and we don't find that out till almost the end of the book. But there is some intrigue there with that situation. And I can tell you also that Jace has some agendas of his own. He's not telling Cassie the whole truth, and she's not telling him the whole truth. Jace has some shady dealings with some people who are making weapons for his kingdom and some other things going on. And so there's a lot of complication going on between these two characters. What else can I tell you without completely ruining it? Okay, let me talk about Cassie's friends. There are some friends that are also soldiers for the Queen that come with her, and they are hilarious. Sinuva, and the other one starts with an M. Crap, what's her name? No, it's not an M, it's a W. Her name's Ren. So there's Ren and Sinuva, and then there's a couple of other people that come with them as well. But Sinuva, we find out she, as a child, when she was only 10, witnessed her parents being beheaded by a man who was thought to have then died in this great battle. And then some things come back into the story with that as well. And Sinuva is like Katniss Everdeen on steroids. She can hit anything with an arrow. They say that she can hit the shadow off of a fly. And so she's kind of fun to just have some little laughs in the story, as well as really see how she is going to take revenge on the man who killed her parents if she can find him. Golly. I'm really not sure what else to tell you because, again, even though this is a spoilery section, I don't want to go into everything that happens in this book. But I just want to say again how much I recommend this. This is such a beautifully written book, and it's beautiful to look at too. So I highly recommend reading this, and suggest you go find it at your local library or your favorite place to shop online, or hop on the website for the King's English and grab it from them. They did have her sign a few copies, so if you're quick, you might be able to get one of the ones that Mary signed. And yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. Quick side note, the King's English is not sponsoring this video. They have no idea that I make videos. They just know me as that customer that comes from Wyoming every once in a while and buys a whole lot of books. So, yeah. Anyway, that's about all I've got to say for Dance of Thieves. Again, I'm still almost in that mode where I don't even know what to say because it's just such a wonderful book. So I hope you all have a wonderful and bookish day. Happy reading.